Hi, my name's Jack,
And I'm Shakila.
and this is our pitch for our horror trailer ideas.
In this PowerPoint, we're basically going to be discussing how existing trailers have inspired us, any theories that we've outlined that may be evident within our own trailer, and how research has impacted our planning.
We got our inspiration from the plot from the film The Gallows. The film's about a boy who died in a high school production and is now haunting the school and students in the future.
We picked up a few similarities from this trailer that we may want to include within our own. The fact that it's set in a school was a big appeal to us because we're in a school and we think that it would be relatable for our target audience. As well as this, it was a psychological horror, and we believe that this is an effective subgenre and it will appeal to our audience as well. We're going to use teenagers as our main characters, as once again it is relatable for our characters and they themselves could see themselves within that same position as our characters. And finally, the use of handheld or found footage, which is a subgenre of horror, was really appealing to us as well, because we think it's a different kind of way to showcase all our camera skills as well as showcase the horror to the audience.
One difference we did take from the trailer though is that we don't want to reveal too much of the plot like The Gallows did. This is because we want to try and keep the enigma code sort of to the film, so we don't reveal too much and spoil it for the audience.
Regarding the themes and our trailer, we took inspiration from The Woman in Black, which is basically about a man who goes to a house to try and sell it, but it's being haunted by a woman.
Yeah, one similarity we took from the trailer is that we're going to use a ghost or some sort of spirit from the supernatural haunting the characters. This is because we feel like this is quite a popular subgenre of horror in today's generation. And also we're going to take the element of revenge from the trailer. In the film, the spirit who's haunting the characters had a son died, and in our trailer we're going to use the fact that the students are provoking the ghost and that he wants to get revenge because of that.
A difference that we picked up was that instead of the woman being like a ghost, we was going to use a teenager to make it more relevant and relatable to our target audience. Like the elements of the fact that it's a teenager the same age haunting the characters, I think would be quite scary, and I think that would be quite effective as well.
The inspiration for our editing came from the trailer The Conjuring. This is about a family who live in a house and are seeking help from a team of ghost hunters because a spirit is haunting them and their family. And yeah.
Similarities that we picked up from this trailer and which we're going to use within our own is the fact that fades are used quite effectively during the start of the trailer, which kind of show the equilibrium of the trailer, and it kind of just makes it seem quite nice atmosphere for the audience. Whereas as the trailer picks up and it gets like the more horror parts of the trailer are shown, jump cuts are used, which makes it quite on edge and makes the audience feel a bit more tense as they're watching.
One difference we are going to use, we might use night vision. This is a more like of a modern twist to the film, and because it's our audience is teenagers, they're quite familiar with this form of technology, and we just think it will be appealing for our audience.
For sound, we looked at the trailer The Strangers, and it's basically about a couple who go on a romantic retreat in a cabin in the woods, but unfortunately they get targeted by a group of masked tormentors who basically try and cause havoc to them and harm them.
The similarities we got from the trailer was the use of silence. A lot of the time in the trailer they had no sound whatsoever, and this is quite unnatural and quite eerie and uncomfortable for the audience, and we thought that would help make the audience feel on edge and add to the scary element of horrors. Also, the use of impact sounds, they use that quite well to help create a jump scare for the audience, and we thought that would effective in our trailer also.
We didn't really pick up on any differences within this trailer regarding sound, because we thought that all the sound used within the trailer was really effective, and we feel like using elements of sound that's used in this trailer would be good to use within our own.
The inspiration for our mise-en-scene came from two films, Prom Night and Carrie. This was because Prom Night is about a girl who goes to her prom, but the school gets tormented from a masked villain, and Carrie is a girl who has supernatural powers and is tormented by her mom because of it, and was never really a popular girl in the school.
The similarities which are shown within both trailers that we want to maybe use within our own is the fact that it's used as a school as its main kind of setting. It uses a lot of low-key lighting, and there's very minimal high-key lighting within it. There's a minimal use of props, and it's more psychological element that's played upon within the trailers. And the costumes reflect the time period, which is very casual and suburban clothing, which reflects the era of the time they set.
One difference that we did pick up though is that our trailer's solely going to be set in a school. This is because because we want to make the school seem uncomfortable for the audience. When they next go to school at home, for example, they will feel on edge there, and that's what horror is all about, making a setting or a place seem uncomfortable for the audience.
We looked at some trailers, and we've picked up on three main theories that we think were evident within these trailers.
The first one was Todorow's narrative theory. The three areas that we picked up on mostly was the state of equilibrium, the recognition of the disruption, and the middle of the disruption. These are mainly used throughout a lot of horror trailers, and we want to also use these in ours because we think stating the equilibrium will help. I'll cross that part out, I don't know what to say, sorry.
Okay. Props character types is the second theory that we picked up on. There are two character types that we saw throughout a few trailers that we watched. Was a group of princesses, or like these basically people who are the victims of the trailer, and a villain who is always targeting the princesses and causing havoc to them as well.
And the third one that we thought of was Levi Strauss, and his look at binary opposites, and a lot of those are such as life and death, and good versus evil, but in our trailer we're going to focus on humans or teenagers versus the supernatural.
We took elements, we did some research as well beforehand that influenced our initial idea for our trailer as well.
Yeah, one piece of research was our horror timeline. We done research into the different generations of horror and how horror has evolved throughout the ages. And we've noticed in modern horror that they focus on psychological, that subgenre more, rather than, say, blood and gore, as I'm guessing the audience just find it more scary this generation.
The second piece of research that we conducted was analysis of trailers. We both looked at 5 different trailers each, and there were different subgenres, and we basically looked at how the cinematography influenced the trailers and how they made the trailers be successful or effective from an audience point of view. And from this we plan to use what we found out from there within our trailer as well.
Yeah, that links into the next piece of research we've done also. It was a presentation on do's and don'ts for a horror trailer. From looking at our analyses, we noticed that there were certain things that we shouldn't do, such as revealing too much of the plot, and things that we should try and incorporate into the trailer also.
And the final piece of research was our primary research, which was a horror questionnaire that we conducted to give out to members of our target audience. And from this, we were able to find out what elements of a trailer our audience would want to see within our own, so that we could make it more appealing to our audience, and it would be attract our audience more.
And our final, well, not our final idea, sorry, it's just a basic idea at the moment, and we will further develop it or possibly change it. But this is what we've came up with from doing our research.
So basically, we have some students have heard of rumoured spirit, that haunts the school around Halloween, and because of this, they've decided to stay behind at the school to find out more about this ghost. Thinking it's a hoax, they jokingly call the spirit and begin to ask questions. After calling the spirit over a couple of days, so it's like a progress kind of thing, they find out that the spirit is actually real, and by asking the question, will somebody die this Halloween? From asking this question, this is when the disruption starts and the spirit starts to haunt the students.
Yeah, we were thinking of ways to how the spirit could haunt the students without actually revealing what it looks like, because again we want to keep that enigma code within the trailer, so people still want to, if we were to produce the film, people would want to go out and watch it. And different ways we thought of that were lights flickering or turning on and off, like in a short horror film that we watched called Lights Out. Doors slamming, objects falling from shelves or from the table. Use of sound, things like we said before, the silence or the impact sounds, or dragging. We noticed in a few trailers that the spirit would actually drag the characters without them being seen. And also in the trailer, the film The Conjuring, there was a clap and basement scene which we thought was really effective, and we might try and incorporate that within our trailer.
So that was basically our pitch. Below this video should be the PowerPoint itself, so you can go through it at your own speed. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
See you soon.
See ya.
Bye.